A new feature introduced in the more recent versions of Excel is the use of Sparklines. Now, Sparklines are mini charts which are inserted on a spreadsheet but inside a cell rather than on the worksheet itself. And it's just a mini version, and there are 3 different types of Sparklines that you can choose. Now, Sparklines lives on the Insert tab. And I can see my Sparklines about 2/3 of the way across here. I have my 3 different types. I have a line, a column, or a win-loss. So what you need to do is you can select the cell where you would like your Sparkline to go, although it is part of the small wizard that appears in a moment, but I'm going to have mine ready in this cell here. And I'm going to choose a line type Sparkline. So I'm going to click onto line. And my dialog box appears, and first of all it asks me for my range. So I'm just looking at this first row of data, so I'm just going to click and drag over my 4 weekly totals there. Where I want my Sparkline to be placed is already selected because I'd clicked into that cell. So if that was not the cell I wanted, I could click down into this box and I could choose another cell instead. And I'm just going to OK. And there's my mini Sparkline. So this is showing me the trend of these figures here. I start up high, I've dropped right down, gone back high and come slightly down again. Now that I've created that for my first row, I can use the autofill in the bottom right corner to click and drag down and create Sparklines for my other figures. Now with the Sparkline selected, I can see up at the top here I have another contextual ribbon, which is my Sparkline tools. And I have the design tab. So in here I could do things like choose different colours for my Sparklines. I could also choose different marker colours, or to display my markers on there. I could use these check boxes here. So if I put a tick into markers, I can actually see my data points on the Sparkline. I'm just going to remove them. Now I can, if I want to, change this to a different type of Sparkline. So I can see on my design ribbon here that I have my 3 different types. Let's change it to a column. So it's now showing me in a column format. And when I click onto win or loss, this doesn't really help us. And the reason for this is because these are all positive numbers. So if I was to change a number, for example, to a negative, let's say -20, I can see now the difference between the positives and the negatives. So the win-loss is only really used when you are working with those different ranges of numbers. You'll see that my Sparklines tab has gone. It's because it's contextual. I have to be on my Sparklines to be able to see that design ribbon again. Now, one thing to remember with Sparklines is that you can't select them and just press delete on your keyboard. If you press delete, it completely ignores you. You have to use the design ribbon or a right mouse click. And you'll see on the design ribbon towards the end you have the option to clear. Now when you clear, if you only want to clear one of those in that list there, then just make sure that one is selected, and when you click on the drop down arrow you would just clear the selected Sparkline. But I'm going to clear the actual Sparkline group and they all disappear.